Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs Postgame Show podcast. Cubs beat the Braves in the series finale to salvage one down in Atlanta. Javier Assad spectacular. He shoves again. The ass man gets it done and now has the fourth best ERA in all of Major League Baseball. Oh, welcome to the show. Luke Stuckmeyer, Ryan Herrera, Cody Del Mendo, and Kevin Wells running the ones and twos.
And the chat says that we're good this time.
We're up and good.
Yeah.
Thank God, man.
We had to
This
restart.
is version 2.0 of this podcast and live show because we had some audio issues.
Stucky.
If you saw, I think we already deleted the first version from our YouTube channel, but if you did get to see the first version of that was on the YouTube channel,
It never happened.
It never happened, but
Nope.
you know, my favorite part of that version was the friends we made along the way.
All right. Hey, quick shout out to all of our diehards that have been joining up. We've got Andy, Jake, Kyle, Kate, Marcus, Aaron, Jonah. People are signing up one after another, and we welcome you to the family. We appreciate you investing in our time, in our shows, and we couldn't do it without you. So make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube page. We appreciate that. Podcast form, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you're downloading all the podcasts, checking us out, and tell a friend. Phone a friend.
Yeah, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your
That's right.
family.
Tell your parents, tell your parents' parents, tell your parents' parents' parents.
Right. And what you get with the YouTube experience is you get to comment in the chat with all of the sickos we have out here. And you get to see Cody after a win do a live beer bat chug of Blue Moon. It doesn't play as well on the podcast form, but and just imagine that the vibes are immaculate.
We try to do play-by-play
Tried
as
to.
he's doing it.
Yep.
Shout out to Jacopotamus, new diehard, and also said, give us a like for better audio. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
If you like
appreciate
this
it.
audio better, make sure you're hitting that like button.
Credit to Kevin for getting down into the dirty work. You know,
I do
fixing
it
it.
for the
says,
love of the game.
Tell your tech support people we don't have tech support.
Yeah, our tech
barely have
support's
HR
Joey
around here.
Spathis. Joey Spathis, the king of CHGO producing. Shout out.
Shout out Joey
Tech
Spathis.
support. HR is the next thing we got to take care of.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, we barely have HR around here.
We'll get to it. Don't worry about it.
I drink beer out of bats. You think we have HR?
Assad was awesome, though. 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, no runs again. And I assume he's your beer bat chug dedication tonight, Cody.
I mean, he's highly up there. I mean, for sure, I would say, I have, I know you want
Fourth best in baseball.
Fourth
Fourth
best?
best ERA in baseball.
in baseball.
All right, let me give you guys this question as you're getting ready for the beer bat chug. If one of these two guys is going to continue this way, if maybe both, will one, will both, will neither? Assad and Imanaga, who will be able to keep this up the entire season?
I would put my money on Imanaga just because of his experience. Obviously not in the major leagues, but he did pitch for 10 years in Japan. So he has a lot of pitching
So
experience.
if you had to put your money on one,
but
The
ass man, I mean, he just did what he did against a really good Braves lineup. He kind of told Imanaga, hold my beer tonight, and he went 6 innings, of no earned runs. Imanaga went 5 the other night, so.
Well, I was going to say the fact that you said Imanaga has a lot of experience. He does, but it's outside of Major League Baseball.
He still has a lot of pitching experience.
But what I'm trying to say is that there is still the possibility that hitters are adjusting and getting more data on a guy that is never seen before this season. Then I have a whole lot of the similar data that they have building up now that he's in the major leagues. Meanwhile, I mean, I don't remember exactly the day or what the stat is, but Assad's been one of the better starters in baseball since last summer, something like that. I don't remember exactly what the stat was, but I've seen it thrown around on
he's
Twitter
been
this
great.
season.
Yeah.
So like he's been doing this for a decent while against the major league hitters, right? Whereas Imanaga hasn't. So while I don't know if I put my money on it, but like Assad to me, just with having the experience starting at this level and doing what he's doing right now, I may lean a little bit more towards Assad.
Interesting.
For that.
Yeah, Jacob Potamus says Imanaga. Evil Wax says Imanaga, and resident negative Nelly Nearin says neither.
Neither.
So that's the next question is, are we getting too hyped about a month and a half and two pitchers? Because Kevin just put up the ERA leaders, the top 5 in baseball. And if you would have told me those were going to be the 5 ERA leaders at the beginning of the season, I'd have said, I don't think Reynaldo Lopez, Imanaga, and Assad are going to be in the top 5.
Seth Lugo even over in Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
The ass man, remember, the only reason he even got a chance to be a starter was because Tyone was hurt. So, I mean, that's why I said Imanaga. I think he was written into the rotation opening day, because of, they signed him from Japan, all these things. I think Imanaga has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I think
and that's the only reason I say it. But the ass man has been great. He's earned every bit of the
if it's one or both, the Cubs have had a major development.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
In their process.
Well, and that's I just think when you said your question was like the rest of the season or till the whatever. Like I do think Imanaga the long term has the higher ceiling, as Cody said. But if we're just talking about the next few months, All-Star break, maybe towards the end of the season, I do like there is still the chance that Imanaga, the hitters adjust and he goes through a little bit of those struggles as just getting completely adjusted to the major league game. Whereas like 2 seasons from now, he's been in Major League Baseball for over 2 years. The ceiling I think is higher for Imanaga for sure. But I just think that part of it, because we're just talking about this year, it's a possibility that would make me lean a little bit more towards Assad to answer your question. But I mean, I'm not saying that Imanaga is definitely gonna go through struggles, because he's been their best starter so far.
If one of those guys, not even both, if one of those guys can develop into a real number 2 on like a championship type team, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this pitching could be. I don't think anybody expected either of them to be this good, even though, who was it predicted last year? They said Assad was one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Mark Leiter Jr.
Mark Leiter
My
Jr.
question.
And we were kind of like, huh, what?
Ryan. Yeah, Ryan.
My question. He was the answer to my question.
That was your question? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Credit
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah.
That's
and now
awesome.
he's starting to, you look back and you go, well, Mark Leiter, what else does he know? Can he start drafting for the Cubs?
Can he tell me if I'm going to continue to lose weight? Oh, man.
I think what's cool about these two starters is they're so different, right? Like Assad, they both rely on fastball, but they're different fastballs. Like, I mean, Shota's two-seam is great.
And it comes down to the basic of like one's a lefty, one's a righty, right? But then there's so much more baked into there too.
Shota's sweeper the other day has just gotten even better as the season has gone on. Assad obviously doesn't have a sweeper, but he's got other stuff that works. His two-seam has great run on it. I think Brendan actually tweeted it out. I'd have to go back and look, but I think it was like high 90s percentile fastball. I mean, like you said, Luke, I mean, you get one or two of those guys as
major development.
Steele.
Well, I mean, you got
huge.
Steele going tomorrow, and he's made 3 starts, and his last start he gave up 6 runs because he gave up back-to-back homers. And the start before that, he was on a pitch count. So, you get Steele going to go with Assad and Imanaga, then you got yourself a situation, like a really good situation. And if Tyone is more like what we've seen and not yesterday, you really set up, right? And this also goes into a lot of why I want Kyle Hendricks to get it together, because it just provides more depth for them, because we've seen how good Wesneski has been in the rotation. We've seen how good Ben Brown has been in the rotation too. But if you can have Hendricks in the rotation and use those guys in your bullpen, Jordan Wicks still hasn't came back yet. He's a guy that we were all pretty excited about coming into the year. And overall, he's been pretty good. Hasn't been able to go deep except for one start. But, there's a lot of guys that you're like, wow, there's a lot of potential here. But we're early on here, we're seeing, like, not just the depth, but they're actually really good. The rotation, which was something that people said wasn't good like the first 3 weeks of the year.
Godfather Michael Collada wants Assad as the closer now. I can't take him out of the role he's in right now. I can't.
Let him keep doing what he's doing.
I mean, I know and some people have criticized me. Someone like yelled at me in all caps on Twitter last week because he claimed that I wasn't giving Assad enough respect or whatever. And it had nothing to do with me not giving him respect. It was more about, I just personally think the Cubs were going to give Kyle Hendricks that chance. And when Jordan Wicks comes back, I'm wondering how they're going to go about that. And that's a situation that we'll eventually have to talk about. But that doesn't mean that I want Assad to go back into the bullpen, because I have the mindset of, if it ain't broke or if it doesn't need to be changed, don't change it. And we kind of had that conversation last week, because you said something along the lines of, you can't take him out right now. And all I said was, I think the Cubs are going to want to give Kyle Hendricks another chance, and Jordan Wicks will come back. I've always kind of believed that Assad can be really good. I didn't know if he'd ever be anywhere close to this good in the rotation, but I always thought he was really good in the bullpen. That's the only reason I ever said that I think he could go back in the bullpen and be a lot more effective. But I mean, he pretty much shut up any kind of questions I had with him in the rotation. When you go and do that on the road in Atlanta against that lineup, like, what else can I say?
Yeah, if he's pitching like this, you're not taking him out of the rotation to put him in the bullpen. Wicks would return when healthy and likely be a bullpen guy. I mean, you can't have 7 starters.
I think it's more likely he goes down to AAA and
Wicks?
and just stay
Until
stretched out.
Yep,
I think
that's
to me that's more likely. Not just the fact that Wicks, and we'll let Cody get to the beer bat real quick, but not just because Wicks hasn't relieved, going back to his time in college, but just continuing to have the starter depth, because we've seen they've needed it throughout this year.
Yeah. So for me right now, if your top 3-4 is Imanaga, Steele, Assad, and Tyone, with the way that they've pitched, yeah, you're looking pretty good. And if you can get Kyle Hendricks to do a lot more of what he did in his last start as your 5th starter,
even every other start,
right? Like, that's great. You just gotta get this bullpen figured out. And if the offense hits more like it did today, not saying you have to score 7 runs every day, but if you actually score runs, they can look like a really good team like they did tonight. So anyway, shout out to They Asked Me, because they don't win tonight without him. There's no way they don't win without him.
The hook says I'm right, by the way.
Credit to the hook for
here.
giving credit.
Here comes the Blue Moon Beer Bat Chug. Submit your entries for how long this might be. We've seen a lot of them under 10 seconds. We've seen almost everyone under 12 seconds this year. 10.25 is the number we have set for a quality beer bat chug.
10.25.
Like a quality start, 10.25 is the quality beer bat chug.
Quality chug. Okay.
If we're keeping stats, and apparently there is a Twitter handle that now does that.
It hasn't tweeted us in a while. But anyway,
we'll get there.
Are we ready?
All right,
Here
I'm ready
comes
to
Cody
roll.
Delmeno. He did it to the ass man, I guess. Here we go. He's underway. He's 1 second, 2 second, 3 second. Cody Delmeno now halfway through the bat. He doesn't want to tip it up too soon.
He's got a steady
when he
stream
tilts
going,
the barrel, and there it is, up and gone. There it is, under 10 seconds. That's a quality beer bat chug. 986 according to the main account. Oh, was that a little bit of a burp?
It was a burp. Yeah.
Okay, just a burp though, right? We didn't have any.
See, I was waiting for a creative name that you were going to call me, but the main account is my
main account. You were the main account.
Main account would be a good wrestling.
Well, you're the main timer.
A great wrestling nickname.
You're the clock watcher.
clock watcher.
Did Tyler yell at me in the chat for saying something about Kyle Hendricks, or was it the Godfather?
Craig Brindle says it was a 9.69 on his end. Godfather said 9.7.
You got 9.7.
Either way, it was under 10.
Right there,
it was a quality chug. It was a quality Cubs game. It was a quality chug. And now we have quality audio.
That's the biggest part.
How about that?
That's the biggest
How
thing.
about that?
No, but yeah, Assad, I mean, what he did today, again, against a really good Braves line. I mean, we talked about the last two nights. I was like, okay, yeah, guys were getting hit by really good Braves lineups. And, you know, Imanaga, obviously, he kept the Braves off the scoreboard, but he was getting hit, probably more than he's gotten hit throughout his time with the Cubs so far. Assad did a really, really good job. I mean, we're talking about 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 innings, 4 hits.
Struck out Ozuna multiple times. He's been like the best hitter in the National League.
The one that sticks out with Ozuna was I think it was the first inning.
Was it the first one?
I think it was the third out of the first inning, looking on the 2-seam, cutting back on the outside part of the plate like that.
The one on Albies as well.
Yeah.
Albies, who's not only been a Cubs killer, but just I just feel like when you watch Assad pitch to him, you feel like Albies is seeing him well.
He had a good one against Olsen. A good one against Olsen too, getting him the foul tip. I think it was into back into
91 down the middle of the plate to Olsen.
Look,
I don't know if that's Assad or if that's just Olsen really struggling because he has struggled this year. But listen, I'm not taking anything away from Assad for the way that he looked today.
No, I'm looking at his game log right now, and early in the season, the Padres and the Mariners got 2 runs off him. Since then, held Miami to 1 run, Houston to 1 run, Mets to 1 run, Brewers to no runs, Pirates to 1 run, and the Braves to no runs.
Yeah. And it's like
there's some good teams mixed in there.
Yeah, and he's not doing it again by not overpowering guys with velocity. And I mean, he's got good stuff, but it's not like he's. I think Kevin mentioned it. He doesn't have like a major sweeper like something that Hayden Wesneski has that you just know and look at it. It's gonna hit. It's gonna get a lot of whiffs.
Flashy. He's not flashy.
He's not flashy like that, but he's got good stuff, and he's got obviously an assortment of pitches. And he just does it by locating, man. I mean, I'm gonna bring up the 2-seamer again. He only had 3 whiffs on 21 swings today, but he had 12 called strikes. The Zuna strikeout was obviously one of them, but he's just locating pitches, man. The 2-seam, sinker, curve, like just doing really well with the command and control aspect of pitching where, yeah, he's not going to have the fastball velo. It's going to strike you out a bunch. You may not get a whole bunch of whiffs, but you better be ready to hit it because he's hitting his spots right now. And that's, if anything else, is like that's what's really helping him just continue to have success against a bunch of different lineups in baseball.
I thought the defense was good for him tonight too. Mastroboni, give him some credit. Actually, give the guy some credit. I know like a lot of
just
what
not for his,
I know a lot of what I say. It's like honestly, it's honestly a joke. Someone's got to stick up for the guy that everyone hates. I'm choosing to be that guy. All right, but he has you can even count last night too. Like he's been great defensively at shortstop with Dansby out in this situation. All right, he got on base tonight. He walked twice. He even got a hit. He scored a run on the ball that they threw away when they tried to pick off Madrigal. I mentioned him just because of his defensive plays, but I felt like Morel had a really nice defensive play. Even Madrigal had 1 or 2 nice defensive plays. Like overall, the entire team played really well. But for a guy like Assad, he really does need really good defense behind him because I know he had 7 strikeouts tonight, but he doesn't do that every start. So, he needs a good defense behind him because it's not like he's going to go out there and, blow 10, 11 strikeouts in a start. But he just, when you talk about him hitting his spots, he does induce a lot of soft contact at the same time too. And we saw him get a bunch of routine ground balls. He had some easy flyouts as well. Like there was one hit to PCA that PCA just made look super easy. Mm-hmm. That was hit kind of hard. I think it was hit by Albies earlier in the game. PCA went and got it. Like the defense was great tonight, and I think they deserve just as much credit as Assad does in terms of just getting those outs. That lineup that Atlanta has, like Kevin was sitting on the couch. We were comparing like the best lineups in baseball. We were talking about the Braves and the Dodgers, and like I agree with him when he said that the Braves have a better lineup than the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers have their like first 3, but when you talk about how deep that lineup in Atlanta is, when you have Jared Kelenic hitting at the bottom of your lineup, that's ridiculous. That's unfair. And they don't even have Riley in it right now.
Oh,
and they sat Acuna tonight
or Murphy.
Yeah, or Murphy.
And it still looks like they just have no holes in the lineup.
Right.
Austin Riley was an MVP candidate last year.
He's not playing right now.
He's
right?
But no one even knows who he is because they have 4 guys in front of him that are all household names.
So when you have a guy like Assad, who, like I said, he's not going to rack up 10 to 11 strikeouts to start, you're going to need a defense behind you, and he got soft contact. But even sometimes when the Braves did look like they hit it hard, the Cubs defense made some really nice plays. So I think it was just a good full team effort, from the defense and pitching side.
Hey guys, it's grilling season. Get your pork. People who are active need more protein than the average American. In fact, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietitians of Canada, and the American College of Sports Medicine recommend 1.2 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for athletes depending on training. Now, 1 3-ounce serving of pork provides 23 grams of high-quality protein that can help active individuals build and preserve muscle. The International Society of Sports Nutrition recommends that people who are involved in a general fitness program, more like me, or who are just interested in optimizing their health, eat low-fat, high-quality sources of protein, including lean cuts of pork. So elevate your protein game with lean pork, a powerhouse of natural goodness. Savor the flavor, savor the gains, and celebrate any occasion by enjoying the best pork produced by Illinois' pig farmers. From your sausage and bacon for breakfast to pulled pork and juicy chops hot off the grill, the entire season dedicated to pork and the people behind the product, paid for by the Illinois pork producers. Generations of commitment.
That sounds really good. You know what else sounds really good? Penrose Seltzer. Penrose Brewing in Geneva, Illinois. They got the Seltz Ups, hard seltzers with real fruit, led by the Lemon Seltz Up, a national gold medal winning hard seltzer with real lemons. They created their unique twist on a lemon shake-up with a house-made hard seltzer and pureed lemons for a throwback to warm weather and county fairs. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a few weeks at least that we just, we've had Seltz Ups, the lemon Seltz Up specifically, in our fridge, and I feel like every time I come in, I gotta drink one because they're that good.
Well, sometimes I gotta switch it up. Whether it's the Blue Moon, then it's a Seltz Up.
Yeah.
I don't want a Blue Moon every single day. Sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
I do, but sometimes I want to.
Sometimes you want both.
Yeah.
Totally different deal.
Sometimes I just go have one in each hand.
Yeah, so the lemon Seltz Up is great, but they also have the lemon tea up, a half and half inspired hard seltzer. Just released this year is the Transfusion Seltz Up, inspired by a popular golf cocktail with grape, ginger, and lime. Penrose is available at your local beverage retailer or visit Penrose's Tap Room in Geneva. For more information, go to penrosebrewing.com or follow them on social media at Penrose Brewing. Love it.
Hey guys, Mike Tauchman provided the power for today's game, presented by those Illinois pork producers. Savor the flavor, savor the gains, and celebrate any occasion by enjoying the best pork produced by Illinois' pig farmers. Did I mention pork? That's right. First pitch of the game. Boom, Mike Tauchman, home run. Is he your leadoff man moving forward, or just against right-handers?
I think it's possible that moving forward, a team at full health, like kind of where Hap was earlier in the season, like Hap was leading off for the most part. Then Nico against lefties, Nico would kind of move up. I think there's a way you could do it with Nico and Tauchman, where one, obviously Nico against left-handers is leading off. Tauchman, if he continues to hit like this, can lead off against righties. And I think that provides a good mix of as long as you have two guys hitting well that can lead off the way they are, you're looking at, no matter who's kind of on the mound, two guys you feel comfortable setting the table, putting in front of Seiya and Bellinger and Morel. And again, Tauchman just been hitting very well since he starting every day when all the injuries started hitting the outfield. He's helped carry the offense. Nico's picked it up and helped carry the offense. I would look at it as more of if you could find a good balance between those two leading off, that's no matter who it is, if right now it feels like a very solid starter on the top of the lineup.
I don't know if you have Dexter Fowler there, but any of the three at the right time, depending on what it is in the season and how they're playing, can fill that role to a really quality level. When Hap's hitting well and at the top of the lineup, he provides a good, we saw it, like you said, beginning of the season. Nico gives that to me. I'll be honest with you, if you can teach PCA to approach the plate like Tauchman does, he's the guy in the future.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Dexter Fowler, if I remember correctly, and it's such a weird thing for me.
Oh, there's number one.
There's number one. Yeah, right.
Number one.
It's such a weird thing for me to remember this, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. But I believe in 2016, the year the Cubs won the World Series, people forget, Dexter Fowler had an on-base percentage of around 370, and that I want to say 370. Right now, Mike Tauchman has an on-base percentage of 391.
Yeah.
All right. And he struck out tonight, and it shouldn't have been a strikeout. He should have walked on that pitch. So on top of hitting that homer, he had a hit in his next at-bat after that. This guy is doing it all, man. I tweeted after he hit the homer, don't let me start talking about, Mike Tauchman All-Star Game propaganda, because that's how good he's been. He's fourth in baseball in walk rate, bro, I believe. I could be completely wrong on that. But he's just finding ways to get on base. And it makes sense that you would want to put him up there in the leadoff role. Still think either him or Ian Happ, or when the team is at full health, is really solid leadoff guys, because they both get on base. They find ways to get on base.
And provided that Happ also gets out of the slump.
Happ has to start, he has to get out of the slump, sat again tonight. So I'm the way I'm saying it, it's in more of a when Happ is right. Because this offense, when they started the season and Happ was leading off, this offense was clicking on all cylinders, right? But you got a lot of production out of the leadoff spot tonight. And what happened? You scored a lot of runs. Because when your leadoff man sets the table, it puts guys like Seiya and Belly in position to do things, and it puts pressure on the other team's defense and pitcher. All right? It's not like Charlie Morton sucks. He had a ERA under 3, I believe, coming into tonight. All right? And they made him throw 30 pitches in that first inning. Tauchman decided to hit the first one out, which is crazy because he's known for, taking so many pitches and working walks. But on the very first pitch, he saw it and he liked it and he took it to hit an oppo taco, right? So, Tauchman has been honestly like the unsung hero.
There you go.
I think I said that right.
Unsung hero.
The unsung hero for this entire season to this point. And he kind of started slow those first couple weeks. When the offense was clicking, he actually wasn't really doing that well. But when the offense really started struggling, I felt like he was the one who picked it up. So it's kind of crazy. I did not think his role would be what it has turned into this year. I thought that he would be a lot like last year, a guy who could just come in and fill a spot and all this and that. But he has played so well to a point where it's like he has to be in the lineup every day.
He's becoming your third outfielder right now.
Like
we'll see how that develops throughout the season, but with Happ struggling, you don't look at it as Tauchman is the fourth outfielder. You look at it as Tauchman is one of the 4 outfielders, and to me, he's 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's unless Bellinger eventually moves to first or whatever. But like you said, one pitch into this game, the Cubs had more runs than they did in the previous 2.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some of the stats here. For qualified hitters after this game in baseball, Mike Tauchman obviously qualifies now, which is a little, again, going into the year, knowing he was a 4th outfielder, I wasn't expecting him to be a qualified major league hitter right now, but he is because he's gotten the plate appearances necessary. He's 27th overall in baseball with a 140 WRC+. He is 12th overall in baseball with a 391 on base percentage, and he is 4th overall with a 16% walk rate. All those among qualified hitters
That's
in
incredible.
baseball.
That's incredible, man.
You're talking about a leadoff hitter, a guy that gets on base at a high clip, a guy that walks at a high clip, and then overall just having a good offensive season. That's a guy you want in the leadoff spot right now.
Also, quick note on Dexter Fowler, Cody, 393 OBP in 2016, which is career high. So that's exactly what Tauchman's doing right now, though.
Oh, really? It was
yeah.
actually higher than I thought?
Yeah,
393 in 2016?
was
391
OBP.
for Tauchman, but just basically the same thing.
Yeah. So that's a very good pull by you. Very similar.
Sorry, Dex. I wasn't familiar with your game.
Talk the talk and walk the walk.
Hey, listen, there's a reason that the teams like the Braves and the Dodgers are leading off Acuna and Mookie Betts. Not only are those guys 5-tool players that can hit the homer, can play really good defense and steal bases, but they also find ways to get on base while also having the ability to hit the ball out. Now, is Mike Tauchman going to hit as many homers as those guys? No, because those two are two of the best players in the league and were top 2 in MVP voting last year. But for a guy like Mike Tauchman, he's a really good player to have with what the Cubs are asking him to do. And he's overperforming by every expectation that we had. Because, the summer of Mike Tauchman bit was just this guy was signed out of he played with the Yankees and then he went to Korea because no one wanted him. And
he went to Fremd and he's a local guy.
Right. Well, that and he got called up last year because Cody Bellinger got hurt, and he was like, all right, I'm here. This is my opportunity. This is how I'm going to earn a spot on this team. And he was a big part of them winning games last year, right?
His catch in St. Louis was arguably the play of the season.
Right.
That made them look like a playoff team.
But he's playing even better than last year right now. I mean, this guy is top 5 in walk rate right now.
Number 4.
Right? Thank you. Right. Like it's
So the shirt should be
391 on base percentage?
It shouldn't be the summer of Mike Tauchman this year. Maybe the shirt we make should be current Cub and All-Star Mike Tauchman.
Yeah, just Mike Tauchman.
Yeah, you know how
Just
Pat
Mike
always
Tauchman.
introduces
Mike
Ron,
Tauchman.
former Cub and All-Star Ron Coomer, current Cub and All-Star.
I kind of
Mike
like the line that Corey threw into the Slack channel when we were trying to come up with our own with like a new phrase or whatever. I don't know, like a month back.
What was it?
And it was just the era of Mike Tauchman because it's more than just the summer. Like
Tauchman era.
we will talk about the entire Tauchman era at this point. If he continues to play like this and he helps this team get to the playoffs, he's going to be considered like not just like a Cubs legend like Tony Campana. I love you, brother, but like an actual like a Cubs player that helped lead to some success. Not like maybe even more than like a Chris Coughlin type. He's done everything that the Cubs could have ever asked for. He has completely outperformed anything that we have ever expected from him. And that's not to disrespect him at all. It's just the fact that no one knew who he was when they signed him, and he has developed into this incredible depth piece that is really valuable. Like, I give him all the credit. He's been awesome, man. Like he deserves to be in the lineup every day. He deserves to, play. Honestly, he deserves to play in left field over Ian Happ. Like I know Ian Happ has all these years of experience, but like let's be real. Tauchman has played better than him, dude.
This year, yeah.
This year.
Yeah,
he has played better than him this year. Yes.
And it may not last the whole season, but right now that is
you
the
have
case.
to ride that wave though as long as you can. Do I personally expect Tauchman to be top 5 in walk rate by the end of the year? No, because it's like 16% and like league average is like 9%. But I expect him to be a guy who can find ways to get on base for you. And at the end of the day, that's all, as a fan, that's all I can ever ask out of just a role player, which is basically what we all expected him to be this year, was just a role player. But he is even outperforming that, in my opinion, right now. Even during this stretch where the Cubs offense hasn't been very good, he has been as good as you could have asked. He's been one of the few really good players offensively for the Cubs during the weeks during the weeks that Seiya and Belly were both hurt. Tonight, this road trip, he was pretty good. I felt like he's just, to me, he's been consistent. Is he going to do this every single night? No, but no baseball player is going to do what he did tonight every single night. So if you're getting it 3-4 times a week, like shit.
He never looks super satisfied or happy, but he plays good baseball.
Yeah.
Right? He's never he's not walking around with tons of smiles. He gives you the Spidey shooters, but he's not really into it. He's like, yeah, all right.
He's not
guys.
into it like PCA was when he said
he's like, okay, here are your Spidey shooters. All right.
Do you remember back in spring training before they even had any of the rosters and they were narrowing stuff down, before he said anything about anybody, Craig Counsell said, yeah, Mike Tauchman's on the 26-man roster.
Yeah.
I
think
like
that was
before they even played a game.
was a
That's
big
how
boost.
much he knew how good this guy is, man. Like that's high praise. I remember seeing that and I was like, I knew he was going to be on the team, but wow, that the first guy you mentioned as maybe a borderline roster player, immediate recognition from your new manager.
Yeah, and I think that part helps him not have to worry about performing.
100%.
Not that you want to not perform in spring training games, but you don't need to worry about making sure you stand out in spring training games. Like you can just hit the ground running in spring training, get your work in day-to-day basis, and get to the season that way, knowing that you're going to be on the opening day roster. I definitely think that helped. Tauchman has talked about that was a helpful thing, a beneficial thing for him. And once the outfield got hit by injuries and he needed to step in, he stepped in and stepped up, and that's exactly what you need from him.
Frank on the live YouTube chat says, okay, now you guys are just rambling. Welcome to the show. That's what we do. We're just here talking, man.
Oh, you want to talk about someone else?
Did you see what I just did?
This ain't TV.
We're just talking, man. But that was genius. That was genius.
I was trying to
Credit to me for the genius. Thank you.
I was trying to help
Think of me to
transition.
point it out.
Can we talk about PCA though? It was electric tonight.
First, let's talk about Circa Sportsbook.
Maybe I'm
Then
gonna
we'll
bet
talk
on
about PCA, also electric.
I might bet on PCA tomorrow.
PCA did a home run.
No, but like maybe to get a
On
hit
single.
or
There you go.
maybe over hits, runs on RBIs, or I don't know, just something.
He's so electric.
He was very fun tonight. I did bet on Saya and Belly again tonight to get hits, and it did hit tonight. I got robbed last night from the baseball gods. All right, so back in the win column. Thank you, Circa. All right, Circa. All right, their tight money line splits. I saw like some people in the chat talking about the tight money line splits in the chat last night.
Love them.
While I was doing the ad, which cracked me up a little bit. At Circa, the games strive to be -110 split on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use -115 or -120. They keep as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to other books. They also don't limit you based on your winnings. So say you're the opposite of me before tonight, because now that I won tonight, I'm definitely getting hot for the next week. If you get hot, they're not going to start limiting you. They want you to continue to do what you do, brother. All right? Every player has the same limits, unlike other books who do limit winning players. They actually encourage bettors to download and explore other sports betting apps to compare the lines from each sports book. And then finally, there are real people behind the Circa Sports brand who resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other books who use chatbots. All aspects of the app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. They're with us at every Cubs Friday 120 Club. They will be there Friday in 2 days with me, Peck, anyone else who comes out. The girls from there, they're super nice. Alex is also really nice. And they'll help you with all your needs with Circa as well, because they'll introduce you to the app and all that stuff if you're interested.
Cody's birthday.
If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, text GAMB to 833-234, or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Summer's almost here. The weather's been warming up for a little while here. Summer's coming, and we all know, we've all been to Wrigley Field before, and we know that place is packed during the summer. Night games, day games, place stays packed. And if you're looking to go to Wrigley, you're looking to go to a Cubs game this summer, you need to get your tickets through Game Time. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I'm looking through the Game Time app right now. I actually just looked up, tomorrow's series opener with the Pirates, 6:40 at Wrigley Field for this Cubs game. Tickets as low as $12. Tickets as low as $12 to go to a Cubs game to watch them play the Pirates. And who's on the mound tomorrow? Is it the Steele?
I think Steele's
Yes.
starting
Steele on the
tomorrow.
mound. So
We're
it's
getting to that. It's coming up in a future segment. But yes, it is
Justin
Steele.
Steele start, and you get to watch Justin Steele start for that cheap, and you got to get that deal with Game Time. One of my favorite features whenever I look at the app, and it's like, obviously I know Wrigley Field. I've been there enough times that I know what it is. But if I'm going somewhere else, like I was looking at anyone knows who CHGO is, and very good EDM artist. He's coming to Chicago in
What's
September.
EDM?
He's gonna. There you go. So he's gonna be here in September.
I don't know the lyrics to this
I've
song.
heard the guy's name or her name.
He's an EDM artist.
What is EDM?
Electronic dance music or electric dance music, something like that. I'll send you some songs, Stucky.
Thanks.
Sometimes
Flip
you
me
gotta
off.
He's gonna
send
be
me
here.
some
He's gonna be here at the
tracks.
Huntington Bank Pavilion in September. I don't know the venue, so if I want to look at where my seat would be if I go buy tickets through Game Time, they have the seat views, and I can see exactly where my seat is, exactly what my view of the stage would be. And I think that's the best feature about Game Time. They got last minute deals, save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Flash deals, save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. And zone deals, save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats. They got the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
I've been told it's everything from trash music to electronic dance music. I've seen DFW Susie says EDM is what happens after you get DFA'd. It's sus. Those all could be true.
I think.
Well, it's it is electronic dance music is the name.
Electronic dance music.
But it's a very, very wide genre of music.
The only EDM I actually like, and I don't even know if you can actually say this is EDM, is when it's the EDM artist featuring someone who's actually singing lyrics. But if it's just like electronic dance music and no lyrics at all,
yeah, I mean, I like that.
I
Too.
I can't do that.
A lot of that's Kygo. Kygo's a lot of that, having
So
someone
was like
singing.
a New Order one of the first EDMs? You know that band, New Order?
New Order.
Bizarre Love Triangle was the song.
Every time we touch.
I heard someone we were talking about.
one.
We were rambling. They said "Ramble On" from Led Zeppelin. See, I'm more into that.
Okay.
I'm more into
I'll
that.
still send you some Kygo songs. Maybe you could join.
I think I have heard the name Kygo.
He's a pretty popular DJ. He's a pretty popular DJ.
You definitely know the song
I
that I was
understand how
like
people
humming
make a
earlier.
living
I haven't
just
heard
being
the
a
name
DJ
Kygo.
playing
And
music.
Donnie-
You would
Don-
know the song that I was
Donnie's
humming
got
earlier.
says Cascade and John Summit. John Summit actually U of I
Cascade.
graduate.
Oh, Johnny Summit, yeah.
U of I graduate. Local person.
Ethan Del Mastro.
Marshmello is one of my favorites.
That's
Martin
that's a
Garrix.
band or that's a
An EDM artist, yeah.
EDM artist.
Zed. We got Zed.
You know, kind of like how
Got
you
some
wore
EDM fans in there.
the Stucky Claus outfit. He wears a giant marshmallow costume and performs.
Yeah.
That seems.
He did one at Wiener Circle, right? A couple weeks ago.
Yes, he did. He was
Okay.
literally on the roof of the Wiener Circle. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I think we got
I'll
off topic a
trust you.
little bit.
Anyways, we want to talk about PCA.
Well, PCA, maybe Seiya Suzuki finally getting a homer that he deserved. Like he should have hit a homer in Pittsburgh, one that was supposed to. It would have left 25 different parks. For some reason, didn't leave Pittsburgh. On Monday night, he hit one that would have left like 12 different parks. Didn't leave Atlanta. He'd been hitting the ball hard. On Sunday, he hit the ball extremely hard every at bat except for I think his last one, and didn't get a hit. He was like the BABIP gods were out to get him since he came back. He deserved a home run. No one in the lineup deserved a home run more than Seiya Suzuki tonight. And then PCA, that what looked like was just going to be a double that was a triple because he is as fast is.
What was it? The fastest home to third time in Major League Baseball?
Like 11
this season?
seconds.
11.01
because of the
seconds, I think
Gomes.
it
Like
was.
Gomes hit the very first pitch he saw out to the
That was
outfield
Ellie De La
for him
Cruz who did that, right?
to score.
No, it's PCA tonight.
Oh, seriously?
As Stucky, is
Fastest?
that what it was that you saw, Stucky?
Wow.
It was the fastest home to third in baseball this season, 11.01 seconds.
There you go.
Wow.
That's
That's insane. Okay, cool.
when it comes to PCA, I mean, I ain't going to expect a ton. Like, this was just one game. And I know we've kind of said that he's been as good as we could have hoped since he came up here. But, I mean, if he starts hitting line drives into gaps and legging out triples, I'm going to get real delusional over here. All right? And I'm going to start saying that this guy's got to be in the lineup every day. I'm not there yet. His defense is awesome. His defense is enough for me to
Defense is
want him
fantastic.
to. It's enough for me to want him in the lineup every day. But his at bats against lefties make me want to pull my hair out because they're not good. But he faced a righty tonight, and his very first at bat, he squared a bunt. He gets hit by a pitch. Is that because he squared a bunt? I don't know. It worked out. He gets hit by a pitch. It drives in a run. Then his second at bat, he actually does, or maybe it was his third at bat. I can't remember. The bunt single that got past the pitcher that drove in a run.
Bunting for a hit instead of not necessarily bunting someone over.
With 2 outs. Normally, I'll just be honest. If it doesn't work out, I'm probably pissed about it. But it worked out, so I'll give the guy credit.
One thing I'll say about that is with a guy who has the speed PCA has, I don't hate trying to bunt for a base hit.
Right.
Like if he's, I don't like bunts when they're just like giving away outs when you're moving a guy over, moving a guy first to second, and there's 2 out, whatever. I don't love that. When you're a guy with the speed PCA has, and you're just putting down a bunt trying to get a hit, that's the intent. I don't mind that.
And they gave you the space, and you think you're skilled enough to do that.
Yeah,
I don't like it being, hey, I'm going to go up and bunt.
right.
I just don't like bunts very much, but
I guess for
50%
me,
of the time, I
the
can't
only
stand it.
the pro for it to me is the fact that what Ryan basically said, the speed that he has, if he puts it in play and it's a good bunt, it puts incredible amounts of pressure on whether it's the pitcher or the third baseman, or in this case, it ended up being second base / shortstop, having to make a play. And they didn't even get to make a throw because he is that fast. Him putting the pressure on the defense by putting the ball in play is something that a lot of guys in the league don't have like that luxury. Someone like Yan Gomes isn't going to hit a ground ball and be able to leg it out, except for that one day against the Padres, thank God. But like he puts so much pressure on the defense by just putting the ball in play because of his speed. Now, and you saw that as well when he hit the triple. And it was almost an easy triple. I know he ended up sliding, but all I'm saying is that tonight was a game that when you look at PCA in his time up here so far, obviously he hit the homer against the Astros in this first game back up, first hit of his career, electric moment, helped the Cubs win the game. But he did a lot of little things tonight that I feel like a lot of people might not even notice that really impressed me. And that's why I've kind of been with Kevin when he's talked about keeping PCA up here whenever, this outfield is healthy and playing well. He just does things that those three other guys don't do. But I think at this point, what you're seeing is a guy that can play up here. You're definitely seeing a guy who can play up here. And that at this point is encouraging because, again, I've said this in previous shows, the numbers in AAA before coming up here were atrocious. They were actually alarming. They were so bad that I was like, is this guy really going to be down there a lot longer than I was hoping? And again, the only reason he's up here is because of an injury. He's taken full advantage of Bellinger getting hurt, and other injuries have happened, and Happ not playing well, and all this has allowed him to stay even longer. So maybe he does stay. Maybe he never goes back. But I would have never guessed the production that we've got from him based off what was going on in Iowa before coming up here. And, I give him a lot of credit for taking advantage of the opportunity to just be a guy that's productive. Mervis, his at-bats weren't productive. He in general wasn't productive. He was a guy that has to slug for him to be a valuable player for the Cubs. He wasn't doing it, right? PCA is different because he has a lot of a lot of things in his game, the speed, the defense, all these things. He shows the value that he has, right? Mm-hmm. And he's found a way to incorporate all of it in tonight's game, especially, but over the course of these last 2-3 weeks that he's been up here. And it's been awesome to see. It excites me about the future. I still think Alcantara can be a guy who is even better than him, but who knows? We're not going to see him for over a year from now. So that's something we can talk about down the road. But come in the offseason and going into spring, people were down on this guy. People saw 20 at-bats in September and were like, this guy sucks. All right? I read enough of it. I'm not lying about that. Like we all read a lot of that, right? Mm-hmm. I think he's shown that he can play at this level and he can be the future center fielder for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah. No, you mentioned him in AAA before coming up, and we've talked about it. Like he didn't earn the call up, right? Like he came up because out of necessity, guys were getting injured. They needed someone to step up and fill in and hopefully be productive. I did talk with PCA last week before they left on the road for a piece I'll have coming up soon. So that's a tease. That's a tease.
Is that what we call a tease?
Okay.
That's a tease. So make sure you're looking for that at ALLCITY.com. But part of the conversation was just letting what happened last year and things he thought he could have done better and just that kind of stuff. Bleed a little bit into the offseason, into AAA at the start of the year, and just kind of having subconscious thoughts about that. Definitely coming up here and getting that first hit was one of those things that just kind of when he first hit that home run against the Astros, he talked about a freeing feeling for him, allowing him to come up and just play freely, like the pressure kind of off a little bit when you get that first hit out of the way. And you are seeing it now. I mean, I'm looking at the stats now. He's got a 103 WRC plus. It's the same as Christopher Morel. Like, they both have 103 WRC pluses right now. Obviously in a lot fewer plate appearances than Morel on the year. But no, when we talked last week and I said that I still expect PCA to go down, I don't know that it's necessarily changed in my mind. I do think when you have a fully healthy lineup, when you have all your guys playing well, like Bellinger and Suzuki are absolutely your center fielder and right fielder, unless, I don't see Bellinger moving to first base anytime soon, but that's what it is. Like, Happ is in left field. If he can figure it out, obviously he's your left fielder. Then you have good problems when you have 4 outfielders at least playing well. You have good problems to kind of figure out. But in that sense, you also still got to find a spot for PCA, and I still think it makes sense that as long as the guys are healthy and playing well, it makes sense to have him playing every day in AAA. He didn't, again, this is a week ago, but he didn't disagree when we kind of talked about that. Like, maybe, wherever it is, whether he stays up, whether it's in AAA, like, he's happy with what he's been able to do, and he's happy to take what he's learned and use that, whatever level it's at. So right now, PCA, I'm not saying send him down. Like, I think where the Cubs are at health-wise, where they're at performance-wise, like, he's playing well right now, and you could stick here for a little bit. But in the near future, guys start getting healthy. Hopefully, guys start to break out and get back to get out of some slumps or get back to hitting. I do think in that scenario, PCA, it just does make sense that if the situation presents itself, like, having him play every day in AAA is better than having him on the bench right now. Like, at this early in the season, whether that's in a couple weeks from now or not.
I will always love Javi Baez for his base running, his tagging, and all the fun things that he did when he was here. I saw that recently he is the lowest OPS in all of baseball, and PCA is the guy that may bring those new vibes for the future. So that's part of the pill you swallow at some point, and then you find out that it helps you out in the future. Speaking of the future, next 4 games against the Pirates, be nice to take care of them again. Steele, Hendricks, Shota, Tyone. You feel good about those 4 pitchers going. Like you mentioned, Friday 120 Club will get Hendricks. And by the way, I believe that means that when we do the Tuesday watch-along next week, where we will, I believe, sit in these chairs or over where we normally watch the show, and we'll just watch the game with you live with the YouTube chat up so we can chat and watch the game live all at the same time. I believe that will be Shota's next start, right? Will that be an Imanaga's start?
Saturday, I think, right?
No, that's right. He's pitching Saturday, so it will be.
I tweeted it out earlier.
Tuesday? Who will be Yeah, but
there's an off.
It's Steele, Hendricks, Shota, Tyone, day off.
The ass man.
Assad,
It's
right?
Assad. It's the ass man again.
Yeah.
We get the ass man on Tuesday.
That's right. And it sounds like potentially, don't want to jinx this, Brendan and Corey both might be in studio. Ooh. We might be bringing the pitch doctor out to sit in here. Now, we're not paying for it, but he might still be sitting in one of these chairs if he shows up.
Well,
I know Corey's going to show up.
Well, funny that Brendan decides to, like, every year he comes to Chicago.
Yeah, he waited till you were
until
be here.
He knew I wasn't going to be here. He knew I was going to be out Wrigley covering the game. That's what he does every year. Brendan, for whatever reason, is avoiding me. I think the only time I've actually seen Brendan in person was when I was in San Diego. And going on our 3rd season, I've only seen Brendan live and in person in San Diego. So
it's been about a year since he was here. I hugged him right over there.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him in Arizona when I went out there and ruined the season last year. But yeah, looking forward to that'll be fun.
That'll be the first one we've done in a long time. It'll be the second one we've done ever.
Yeah.
So the difference is a watch along is we watch it here in studio with you on the live YouTube chat. The watch party is we go out somewhere and we watch it with you at a bar.
Which we will do the week after, I believe.
The Brewers game.
For the Brewers game.
On a Tuesday.
Yeah. Elk Grove Village. Yeah.
Oh, Makers wanted.
As Friday 120 Club, which Kevin just brought up, that's in 2 days, or I guess in 1 day if you're watching or listening to this on Thursday. So we got a lot of cool things coming up, man. We got Friday 120 Club. We got the watch along. We got the watch party in Elk Grove Village, plus another Friday 120 Club later that week.
The bus trip takeover in June to Milwaukee.
To Milwaukee, plus the other takeover, I think, against the Sox at
events,
Wrigley.
Events.
We have a lot of things going on, man.
Summer's
is
going to
awesome.
be fun.
Yeah.
Summer's going to be a lot of fun.
With this team, I know it's crazy because last night everyone was just like in shambles. You lost 7-0, whatever. You're about to get swept by the Braves. Like, I feel like the vibes have completely shifted a little bit because you got this start out of Assad and you got a big win to avoid the sweep, and now you go home and play the Pirates, who just got murdered 10-2 today. They're not very good. Honestly, you owe them a sweep because you should have swept them in Pittsburgh. Like, I think that things are we got to continue to tread water a little bit. I'm not getting too irrational or too delusional, but your schedule, it lightens up here this weekend. The Braves come to town. You just beat them tonight. Hopefully you play a little bit better against them in your home ballpark like you did last year. Go to St. Louis, to that city that smells like piss. Hopefully beat them and, win a series there. And then you got Milwaukee for 4 in Milwaukee. Craig Counsell's first return to Milwaukee since coming to the Cubs. There's some exciting games and big games coming up too because they're divisional games. Cubs got to take advantage. Ride this momentum that you got from tonight into this homestand. It's a big homestand coming up.
A 4-game sweep would be really nice. I know they're rare in baseball.
3 out of 4 would be real nice too.
Yeah. I just a 4-game sweep put the nail in the season series again against the Pirates. What have they won the last how many years against them? Yeah.
Own them.
Put the nail in the Pirates' coffin this weekend. That'd be great. And Skeens again too, and Jones tomorrow. It's gonna be a couple fun games coming up here. I'm looking forward to it.
You're getting Skeens on Friday?
Skeens is Friday, yes.
Against Hendricks.
Yeah.
Man, I can't.
So you might run into his girlfriend for Friday 120 Club Cody's birthday. She might be out there.
Livy Dunn, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? What was she, Instagram?
Livy Dunn. Well,
She's the LSU gymnast.
TikTok, but she was
A
an
gymnast,
LSU
but she
gymnast.
does a lot of like social
I'm gonna
media.
ask
She's very
her
big on TikTok.
If I run into her, I ask her if she's heard of the Ass Man.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
His name is Javier Assad. Who you got? Who you got? You got the results? I got a winner.
I don't even
Before we
remember.
go, I took
Hey, you
Seiya
guys-
Suzuki his first home run since what? April what? 13th?
Something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. I mean, I don't know.
Pair of hits, pair of runs, an RBI, a home run.
You just spent 20 minutes talking about the winner.
Corey did change his
PCA.
pick to Talkman.
He's not even on here.
I don't have a face. I'm not cool enough to have a face.
Oh, hold on. If Kevin,
They wouldn't make me a face.
A bunt RBI does
Oh,
not
hold
equal a home run.
He's on base 3 times today.
Astro was on base 3 times tonight.
Kevin did pick PCA.
My guy scored 2
pregame.
runs, including a home run, 2
And
hits.
he had some good
2
defensive
for 5.
plays.
2
First home runs at
RBIs,
Tapo.
on base 3 times for PCA
Yeah.
today. He did strike out once.
Belly,
though.
we didn't even-
Oh, there it
He
is.
did
There's
strike
the
out.
minus.
He
And
did
my
strike
guy
out.
squeezed the final out of the game.
What about
Game
Belly?
couldn't be won without my guy's
Yeah,
glove.
we're not talking about Bellinger 2 for 4 with a walk, barely missed a home run.
But it wasn't a home run.
Barely
my guy
missed it.
hit a home run.
How many times was Say on base tonight?
2, I believe. 2 for 5. Well, he wasn't on base because he rounded the bases. He wasn't on them. He was rounding them.
That's a tough one. In all honesty, it's
This
probably between you two.
We never go against the home run.
Well, you don't go.
We
against
never
the
go
home run.
against the home run.
That's because 1 for 5 is better than 4 for 5 when one of them isn't.
Listen, in the stats that I have, it's not even close. I'm like 80% winning right now.
Was it Stucky stats?
What are they, Stucky stats?
Home
Somebody
run.
says I win EDM tickets with the Ass Man. Wrigley Man
There you
1.
go.
Is Avicii EDM? Avicii?
Avicii.
Avicii.
Avicii, I know that. I know
Avicii.
Avicii. I know
R.I.P.
Avicii
in
songs.
peace. At least say his
Levels.
name right, brother.
I know that one.
Sometimes I
got a good feeling.
Yeah, see, I know that one.
Yeah.
That's
There
EDM.
you go. That is EDM.
That's the only EDM I mind. Maybe I know. How
That
does
song's
some
bad.
of this?
There's no better
what's this guy's
vibe.
name?
Kygo.
Kygo. Maybe I know.
Tiesto, you may know Tiesto. I said it earlier, but every time we touch
Oh.
by Cascada.
Oh, that's a
Cascada
bad-
I have
is a
Ghost says
banger.
I win. Yep. Thank
Alright,
you.
good.
Appreciate it.
Every
okay,
time we touch
fine.
by
I agree with you.
That's
I agree with you.
2014 spring
Yeah.
break vibes.
I have
brother.
Ghost. I agree
Martin
with you.
Garrix. David Guetta. You know who David Guetta is.
David Guetta, yeah.
You would know him if you heard a song.
I don't. I remember the DJ at our wedding trying to say he wanted to play more Avicii and David who?
David Guetta.
And also, I can't think of his name. Chainsmokers, I've heard. They're good.
There you go. Yeah, this guy.
Chainsmokers, I know. But he wanted to play David Guetta, and I said, I don't know who that is. Please don't ever play that at my wedding. Play Guns N' Roses, and the people will like it.
It would have been good at your wedding.
So I won?
Ooh.
No, you didn't win.
I guess we're giving it to Saya.
It's to Saya. Saya wins.
I haven't updated the stats, but I'll get those to you guys.
Stucky
tomorrow.
wins. Frank said, "Thank you, Frank. I appreciate it."
I believe I'm still in first place though, percentage wise.
Whatever. I took Master Boney. He had a good game, and the Cubs
Def
won.
Leppard's
I'm
great
doing
time,
my
yeah.
job here. Credit to me.
DJs.
All right.
There you go.
David
We talked
Guetta.
a lot about music tonight. To all the people who
Zed.
get annoyed when we go on these little tangents,
Oh.
this is better than Corey talking about wrestling.
Oh,
No, that
Is it
day
ever?
we talked about wrestling moves was a
or
great day.
Brendan talking about the heat maps. Oh,
And I can't believe what I just said. I don't even really believe. I would sit here and talk about wrestling.
Oh, I love it.
I was
telling
watching a pay-per-view last night, brother.
Wasn't it the day before they hired counsel that we sat here for 10 minutes talking about wrestling moves because there was nothing happening? There wasn't
Yes.
the World Series
Yeah.
anymore.
We need more guests in the offseason.
when it all comes down to is that both Tom Petty and Bon Jovi are better than Bruce Springsteen.
Wait, Brendan
what
said,
the hell?
I turn this on and that's the first thing I hear.
Oh, the heat maps.
Oh,
If it's not the heat maps,
maps.
it's Brendan trying to take somebody that's been taken in Twitter. Every time he jumps on to make a selection for who you got, it's like, no, Brendan, somebody already took him 5 minutes earlier. It's like the information doesn't reach the internet in California in time, and he's...
What's funny is that tonight he tried to take Master Boney, which is not someone that many
taken.
people take except for me, and he was already, taken.
All right.
So he took his favorite player, Nick Madrigal.
Brendan, we look
Luke
forward to
wins.
seeing you, and you'll sit next to me.
Luke, you
You're
got
sit
another
next to
hour,
me.
right? Chat wants you to talk more music.
No.
That's
Michael said
that's for if they lose on tomorrow's game.
no. Michael said the EDM stuff is why he only likes the Corey and Brendan episode. So
The EDM.
less music talk or less EDM talk, I guess.
I mean, at least he's on it.
At least he's
At least
So
he's
the
honest.
David Guetta guy, he's also EDM?
And he's still here.
Still
I mean,
here. He's hanging out.
So I mean,
Appreciate it.
if he says he only likes the Corey and Brennan episodes, that's not true. If he's here,
The other one, the DJ, it was DJ Mizzle was our DJ. It's a friend of ours. He also wanted to play more Bruno Mars, and I'm like, absolutely not, absolutely not. Please,
don't be hating on Bruno Mars
I
during
just didn't
Asian
wa- I
American
ju-
Pacific
I
Islander
just
month.
didn't want him
Only-
playing at my wedding. I'm like, listen, man, you're missing out. If you play AC/DC or a little Guns N' Roses, maybe some Metallica or something, like you'll get people out there.
You would get
Yeah.
people out there with some Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
A little 24 karat
but
magic.
not my friends.
Okay, that's true. Your friends are older than me.
Now you can, maybe.
Obviously.
That was close, Cody.
Obviously. that was a good save. That was a
Just
good
remember,
save.
Cody, you're going to be 33
I know.
On Friday.
I'm entering my
33
Scottie
on
Pippen
Friday.
era. Does that mean I have to turn into a giant asshole when I turn 33?
Means you got to sit out the last play of the game.
Sit out the last play of the game. Okay.
There we go.
I don't know how to do my Scottie Pippen year. All right.
All right.
I didn't do rapping at the wedding. I did not. But I am a big
Thank you,
baller.
Michael, for hitting the like button.
You hit the like button.
You hit
That's
the
all we
like
care
button.
about.
Thanks. I
Mike.
appreciate that.
Appreciate
Hey,
you, Michael. We
Hey,
appreciate you.
we did this so late tonight that the thumbs down guys forgot to do it.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? Let's get out of here before they do it. Thanks for
get
checking
more
out
likes
the
while we're
CHGO
at it.
Cubs Postgame Show podcast. Back for a full postgame show tomorrow
we do
after the game
pregame?
when they play the Pirates.
Do we
No
do
pregame tomorrow.
No pregame tomorrow?
Just postgame. Just the postgame. And we hope the audio will be good. Until then, fly the W. No EDM.
We all silly like the mayor.